get the 2023 Clownfish comic books, including Crimson Ren Volume 1 and previously on Clownfish TV. We're offering a limited number of these books. In our second chance offer, go to shopclownfish.com. That's shopclownfish.com. Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, and we're going to talk about Mortal Kombat. We're going to talk about Mortal Kombat 1 and Tanya, who's making a reappearance in the series. She's coming back, and yeah, she looks pretty good, doesn't she? She looks pretty good. I'm sorry. I had the wrong picture pulled up. This is actually what she's going to look like in Mortal Kombat 1. So people are not happy. We're going to talk about this. Like, look, I want to disclaim this video. Before I go any further, because I know how these things go, right? We have not seen her in action that I know of. I think these are just stills. She might not look as angry as she does in this image, right? She might look a little bit better when you actually see her moving. That being said, people are like, why does she look so different than she did before? Why does she look less feminine and much older than she did before? Other people are arguing that she looks more black. You know, that if you like the new design, that is on you. That's fine. I'm not going to tell you to like it or dislike it, but there is a definite trend in Western video games to change characters, female characters, regardless of their ethnicity, to less attractive people. They tend to make them less feminine. They tend to make them more masculine. And again, this is not limited just to Tanya. So this is not a racial thing, in my opinion. This is something that we have seen time and time again with female characters in Western video games, right? In fact, we have a good example here. We have, some of, I believe, the motion capture actors, the voice actors of these characters from Zoro Rides Thrice, that, they tend to, basically uglify the female characters. The male characters, not so much. Like you don't see too many middle-aged balding male protagonists in video games, right? But they do tend to dial the beauty down a few notches, and it's kind of a shame because, I mean, damn, the actress that plays her, she looks pretty good, right? Just objectively speaking, Tanya does not look like her. I thought you had to look exactly like your character. So we're going to talk about this because this is a bigger conversation. Again, it's not limited just to Tanya. It's not limited to Mortal Kombat, the Mortal Kombat franchise. It has been an ongoing issue. And when I first noticed it, when it became very apparent that these developers were going out of their way to make female characters less attractive, it was with Diablo 2 Resurrected. This is a game I spent a lot of time playing back in the day. I spent a lot of time playing Diablo 2 back in the day, and the Amazon looks like a dude. I'm sorry, the Amazon looks like a dude, right? And when you've got lots and lots of examples of Tanya looking a lot more feminine in previous incarnations and other media, it's kind of like, why does she look the way she looks? Now, in defense of that design, somewhat in defense of it, she does not look as bad when she's not raging. When her mouth is closed, she does not look as bad. So again, we'd have to see it actually, see this model in action to see how she actually looks. But yeah, people are not happy. We're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo from me. I'll give you a woohoo. Geeky is not here. She's kind of like, yeah, I don't really care about this. She's like, everybody's talking about it. She said, I don't really care. And I'm going to be honest. I don't care a whole lot either. Tanya was introduced in Mortal Kombat 4, which I personally didn't care a whole lot for Mortal Kombat 4. I love the first three. I remember 4 was kind of a jumping off point for me because the polygons looked really bad. It was really weird to go from a 2D game with, for the time, really good, live action captures and graphics, and then to go to like some PS1 looking arcade game was kind of weird. You know, it was kind of a weird change. And I understand everybody's making the jump to 3D. That being said, I never really jumped back on. I mean, I played some of the newer Mortal Kombat games, but you know, it's not really my thing. I like the original 3. I love the original 3, especially 2. It's all-time best Mortal Kombat game in my opinion, lots of people's opinion. So Tanya did not appear in those games. You know, but the time she has appeared, she has looked a lot different than she does now, right? And again, it's a bigger issue. People are like, why are they doing this? Why are they, you know, uglifying the women in video games? It seems like it's deliberate, and it could very well be deliberate, you know, because there's a lot of talk about seeing yourself in video games. We know we have some pretty progressive people working in video games. I'm sure they probably have diversity and inclusion people overseeing these games. In the case of Tanya, I know a lot of people are out on Twitter now being like, well, she just looks more black than she did before. I'm like, well, how come she's not as conventionally attractive as her voice actress? I'm just saying, like, if you're going to make a character look like, you know, themselves, you know, is she not black? I think she is black. You know, and this does seem to be something that is definitely limited to Western game studios. They go out of their way to make women as conventionally unattractive as possible in fantasy games. I mean, this is the motion capture or voice actress, and look what they did. Look what they did to her in the game, right? And again, there are lots of examples of black women that are in other games from other companies, other studios in other countries. And, you know, they don't feel like they've had to, you know, make her look like she's 48 years old and, you know, whatever. You know, I do not believe this is a racial issue. I think this is an issue across the board that female characters are just not being made attractive in Western AAA video games. I don't know, is Mortal Kombat AAA? I don't know if it's considered AAA, but what I'm saying is the Western developers, I mean, look at Mass Effect, look at Horizon, look at, you know, anytime there's a female character, it's like, we got to make sure, you know, she's not conventionally attractive. Got to make sure that the men aren't fapping to her. We got to make sure that her breasts are taped down, that she's clothed, and she's about, you know, 30 pounds overweight, and she's never going to wear makeup. And I mean, this is a trend, right? This is a trend. This comes from Black Sage D, who I have to give a hat tip for. He kind of put this on my radar. I saw people tweeting about it. I was kind of like, I'm not sure what's going on with this, because I don't really pay that much attention to Mortal Kombat. Or at least new Mortal Kombat. The trailer for 1 looked pretty good, though. It did look pretty good. It might be okay. NetherRealm Studios really wants me to believe this Count Cracula looking, his words, not mine, is Tanya. Mortal Kombat has completely fallen off. She looks like a dude I used to go to football practice with. She doesn't look like one of the girls. Wow. Okay, those are some scathing words here. Mortal Kombat fell off after MK3. Thank you. That is my opinion too. I think we had one personal opinion. We had one really great Mortal Kombat game. That was 2. 1 was pretty good. It was good. It was addictive back in the day. 3, you know, I wasn't a big fan of the run button, but I still played quite a bit of it. This is somehow Mortal Kombat for some reason. I think that they had other issues with Mortal Kombat where they were complaining that the female characters weren't covered up enough. So this goes along with it, right? The female characters weren't covered up enough, but you're literally going to cut them in half and see them from the inside. But they're, you know, but they're not covered up enough. I'm waiting for the next step. I'm waiting for the next step to be like, you can't commit violent acts against female or minority characters in Mortal Kombat. You can't do fatalities on female or minority characters in Mortal Kombat because it's offensive to have Johnny Cage rip off Tanya's head. You cannot do that. You can't do that. This is why Street Fighter will win this year's fighting game wars. Man, your post is hilarious. You're kind of right. A lot of people complain about it. It's not just Black Sage D. There are a lot of people complaining about the state of Mortal Kombat, state of Western games, even Reddit. Again, this is, yeah, look at that. Like, she was much better endowed in the past. But even Reddit is complaining, but they're afraid to complain. So this is on the Mortal Kombat subreddit. And there are like a few questions for the people saying Tanya's ugly, and they had to remove it because it was too offensive. But you get down the list here, and this person got quite a few upvotes. I don't think she's ugly. She looks nothing like the Tanya we know from previous games. I would agree with that. I mean, if this were a new character and this were her first appearance and you had nothing to compare it to, you know, I mean, what are you supposed to say? It's like, well, this is just what she looks like, right? Her weapon, her moveset, her parent role in the story, none of them seem like Tanya to me. Her being a woman of color isn't enough for me to be like, oh yeah, that's her. Even Rain still feels like himself in spite of his significant redesign because he still has a lot of what made him iconic. Hell, that's true. They've totally changed her appearance, everything about her appearance. I guess you could use the out that this is supposed to be a reset of the timeline. Like this is a soft reboot of Mortal Kombat, I believe. I even think they could have tied her visual design to her skin, her alt skin in Mortal Kombat 10, where she had magical tattoos. Aside from her ethnicity and choice of color to wear, there's basically nothing similar between the two characters. I hope the gameplay reveal shows us something that reminds me of her because she was one of my favorite characters to play in Mortal Kombat 10. People who are trying to go after the actress for the redesign are fucked in the head. Yeah, no, that's true. It's not their fault. It's never the actress's fault, unless they come out and say like, hey, gamers should die, which I don't know if that's ever happened in that way, but I mean, I know there have been voice actors for characters that have come out and been like, you guys are toxic, misogynist assholes. And sometimes it's better just to like not say anything. Be like, I did my job. I got my check. I'm going to shut the fuck up and let the devs deal with it because this was their decision. I had no idea it was Tanya at first. I was wondering why she had a staff. My mother was a beautician who was black, and she said the problem is her hairstyle doesn't complement her facial structure. They just chose the wrong hairstyle. So this is like they're going through on the Mortal Kombat subreddit, and they're picking apart the character, and they're not just being like, oh, she's ugly because, she's black, so of course she's ugly. No, that's not what they're saying at all. They're like, yeah, we love Tanya. Why does she look so different? This isn't a racist thing. This is like, why does she look so different? My mother was a beautician. She was black. She said the problem was her hairstyle doesn't complement her facial structure. I think the bigger issue is they just chose the wrong hairstyle that can complement her face. Just because people don't like the character design doesn't mean they're sexist or racist. What? This is on Reddit? Oh my God. Hell, my thing is how jarring Jax looks in MK10 or 11. They literally changed the man's entire skin tone. Yeah, they did. Has some serious redesign issues, and they're too inconsistent and jarring. They have a lot of trouble with consistency with female characters. NetherRealm Studios, that is actually true. If you look at the various versions over the years. Again, the only pass I think you could get on this one is we're talking about a reset. But this is very much a very different character. I mean, the original Tanya was another female ninja character like Katana and Melina. And this one seems like she's a very different character altogether. And it might work for the story. I don't know. Now, do I think she's as ugly as that one still shows throughout the game? Probably not. But, it's really hard to give developers the benefit of the doubt when time and time again, we have seen them take beautiful video game characters and make them deliberately, because you can do anything you want, deliberately less beautiful. And it's always Western studios. And then if anybody criticizes those decisions, they're the misogynists, they're the sexists. And a lot of times women are coming out and being like, yeah, hey, I want to play as an Amazon, but yeah, not this guy. I want an actual Amazon. I want an actual woman, not Willem Dafoe. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one is received. I mean, from what I've seen of the gameplay, it looks okay. It does look okay, but it is getting harder and harder to ignore that devs are deliberately making women less attractive, or trying. And I think they're doing it for woke points, quote unquote woke points. And I think that era is kind of ending. I mean, this is why Japan's eating your lunch. That being said, Mortal Kombat's going to sell really well unless the game is complete dog shit. So I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later. Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.